Welcome to HB Reddit Stories. Today we will see stories of r/am I the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for calling my girlfriend a dumb and taking away her key after she almost burned my house down? My girlfriend wanted a pizza. I have really good frozen pizzas from the local Italian market. They are made fresh, and if you do them up on a pizza stone they come out perfect. I have made these for us many times. It is a simple process. You take the pizza stone and put it in the oven. Let the oven preheat. Put the pizza on the paddle and slide it onto the hot stone. Once it's ready, you slide the paddle under the pizza and pull it out. Put it on the carving board and cut it. Easy, right? Nope. My pizza stone was dirty. It is scorched, not dirty, so her brilliant idea was to make the pizza on my plastic cutting board. Because that way she could just take the cutting board out with oven mitts and cut the pizza without having to use all the tools. I got home to see black smoke coming out of my house and my girlfriend on the phone with 911. My dog is not on his leash and he's going crazy. I go to the front door to see if it's hot in the house or if I can see flames. No flames, no heat. I get to the stove and turn it off. I open the sliding door to let out more smoke and get my leash on the way out. The firefighters are there within 5 minutes and the smoke is already dissipating. They go in to make sure. All clear. Thank God they were there less than an hour. It is covered by the city. If it was over an hour I would have been charged for the response. My oven is effed though. And I have a lot of smoke damage to clean up. I told my girlfriend I was glad she was okay, but that she is a dumb and she wasn't allowed in my house alone for a while. I took her key away. We do not live together. But she has roommates and likes having a big house to herself on her days off. She says that it's a mistake anyone could make and that I'm an a-hole for calling her names. Yes, she said those words. She says it's my fault for not just getting microwave pizza and having to eat fancy. Top comments. Not the a-hole, lol, that she thinks this is a mistake a regular thinking adult would make. Is she going to clean and pay for the damage? Not the a-hole. Normally I hate posts when people encourage a breakup, but trying to put a plastic board in the oven is such next level dumb. I would feel anxiety about all the other basic crap I might have to explain, like does she know not to drink the toilet water, or the dog cannot answer the telephone, etc. Get a new oven. The one you have is permanently damaged from the fumes released by the plastic. Don't continue to use it and risk poisoning yourself. Consider if you really have a future with the girlfriend. I just absent some kind of external factors like she was working insane hours and going on 3 hours of sleep for the last week. I just can't understand how a 24-year-old can be so very, very stupid. Calling her a dumb wasn't nice, but if the situation and explanation is as you described in your post, not the a-hole. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my family move in because my 16-year-old son doesn't want them to? About 5 years ago, my husband cheated on me and then abandoned our family. It was an incredibly difficult time. I was left alone to raise our son, who was just 11 at the time. None of my family members offered any help or support. We were essentially on our own. The only person who helped us was my father, who was a great support system both emotionally and financially. When my father passed away 2 years ago, he left me a significant inheritance. This money allowed me to buy a house and provide a stable and comfortable life for my son and me. Since my husband left, my son and I have become very close. We've been through a lot together, and our bond is incredibly strong. I would do anything for him. Recently, some of my extended family members have fallen on hard times and asked if they could move in with us. Given our history, I was initially hesitant. I discussed it with my son, and he was very much against the idea. He remembers how nobody was there for us when we needed them the most and feels strongly that they shouldn't benefit from our home now. Understanding his feelings and valuing his comfort, I decided to tell my family that they couldn't move in with us. Now, they're upset and accusing me of being selfish and ungrateful. They say that I owe them support because we're family. I don't think I'm a-hole and honestly don't care what they think as long as my baby is happy, but I still want to hear other people's opinions. So, am I the a-hole for refusing to let my family move in because my son doesn't want them to, especially considering the way they treated us when we were the ones in need? Top comments. Make it awkward. Send a group text or chat and tell them that you will give them the exact same level of support as you got when your husband cheated and took off and you were left raising a child on your own. Simple as that, and they will either get the message and leave you alone or start pandering on with excuses. If they start with excuses, I'd go even more petty and use the same excuses back at them. Oh well, we didn't know it was so hard for you and we're past that now. I didn't know it was so hard for you, and well, you've already lost your house so we're past that now. Hilarious that they all come out of the woodwork now that you have money. Idiots, all of them. I'd mess with them so badly just because they sound like absolutely awful people. Not the a-hole though, by a long shot. I will add though, whatever you do not tell them that it was your son who influenced your decision. He does not need the flying monkeys to start attacking him, and while it is admirable that you sought out his opinion because it's his home too, don't throw him under the bus, even by accident, with these people. They will go for him if they think it was his fault. They don't get to exploit you. Next story. Am I the a-hole for accepting money from my parents for my wedding then eloping? My parents gave each of my brothers $50,000 when they graduated from university as a down payment on their home. When I graduated, they did not do the same for me. I asked about it and they said my husband should provide. I wasn't married. I still lived at home. 3 years later I met my husband. We dated for a year and then we got engaged. My parents were overjoyed. When we set a date, they gave me a check for $50,000 to pay for the wedding. What the F? I took the check and we eloped. We then used the check for a down payment on a house. My husband had a similar amount saved up, so we are in a good spot with equity. My parents were furious that they didn't get a big wedding for all their friends and family to attend. They said that they gave me the money for a wedding. My argument is that I got married and had leftover money. Accurate in my books. My brothers are on their side, so I am here to ask if I'm in the wrong. Am I the a-hole? Top comments. Not the a-hole, your family is being horrible and is using a crap double standard. They didn't expect your brothers to use that money for a big wedding, but you have to. They wouldn't have helped you get a home unless it was through marriage, but your brothers didn't have that condition and just got the money. And they expected you to have a huge wedding so that they could have fun. Saving up the money is the responsible thing to do, and they're being bad parents if they'd rather you spent it all in a huge wedding you don't even want. Edit, just a question, to be clear. There was a wedding and they were invited, right? They're angry because it wasn't big enough? OP replies. There was a wedding. If, for example, this concerned money set aside for education, I'd judge you in the wrong. But $50K for a wedding when your brothers got that same amount for a home is outrageous. Seriously, what the heck were they thinking? Hi, daughter dear. Rather than giving you $50K to set you up quite comfortably housing-wise, we want you to burn through it for a single day called a wedding. You see, you have melons up top rather than ping-pong balls and a sausage down below, so what on earth makes you think you need financial security? Us having fun at that party and being able to brag about it for decades is way more important. Misogyny aside. I also loathe the fact that they wouldn't have given it to you if you preferred to remain single. It's basically bullying you into marriage. Not the a-hole. And if it costs you your relationship with your parents, that might be better in the long run in any case. I would invite them to an impromptu wedding ceremony in the backyard of your new house and thank them for funding this special day. OP replies. That's more or less what we did at a friend's house. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to push my obese cousin around in a wheelchair for a day? My cousin is approaching 600 pounds and requires a mobility scooter, as walking even short distances is very painful for her. In July, she has an out-of-state wedding to attend, and I was asked to taxi her to and from the event, as I'm not currently employed, so my calendar is open. Unfortunately, my car will not carry a mobility scooter, so my cousin will be required to use a wheelchair. The problem is that this event is being held in a public park. I can barely push her wheelchair on a paved surface, let alone across grass and dirt. I tried contacting a couple rental agencies in the area, but they would not lease scooters in this case because of the off-road use. My aunt and uncle have also declined to loan me their truck, which is how my cousin normally gets around, because I have a pretty crappy driving history. I did look into renting a vehicle that could carry the scooter, but my cousin cannot afford to pay for that, and obviously with me being jobless, I can't either. The distance from parking to the event area is about 40 yards, which my cousin cannot handle walking. About the best solution anyone's come up with is that the party has a flat bed they're using to tote supplies from the cars, but my cousin says she would feel humiliated having to be rolled in like that. My cousin is furious with me, saying I'm shaming her by saying I cannot push her, but I feel it's the honest truth. Like 100% the thin wheels of the wheelchair are going to dig into the ground, and I am not strong enough to handle that. My cousin has done a lot for me in the past, so I do feel bad saying no, but I feel like I've looked into every option at this point. Am I the a-hole for not being willing to just go and give it the college try? Also, please don't degrade my cousin. I know I can't stop you, but it's all been said before. Please and thank you. Edit. I honestly never expected so many responses, and I want to express my appreciation to the vast majority who respected my request not to berate my cousin. I also wanted to thank everyone who messaged me with their own thoughts. I feel like you all have given me some very solid talking points that may hopefully help me with this discussion with my cousin. Thank you all. Update: this morning I got a call from my aunt who said my cousin was no longer going to be attending the wedding. Sadly, my cousin was hostile towards the bride's mother, who had selected the venue, and so her invitation was retracted. I feel depressed because I know my cousin did really want to go, but I still don't think I was wrong to tell her I couldn't handle this. I really do appreciate all of you who supported me in my decision, as well as those of you who may have felt otherwise but were still so kind to me. Thank you all. Top comments. Not the a-hole you mentioned a truck that her own parents have. Where are they going to be on this weekend that they can't take her? I can't imagine 600 pounds even fits in your vehicle, not sure how that would be managed either, but not your problem. OP replies. Yeah, I'm kind of concerned about my car too, but I have another big family member who is able to get in and out of it okay, but they are only about 350. My uncle has significant health issues that would prevent him from doing this drive, and my aunt is working and does not have vacation hours to utilize. I've tried pressing them about the truck, but they're stubborn. I would also like to note that they are not at all upset with me over this situation, so it's not like they're being hypocritical. Not the a-hole. Honestly, you sound like you have searched for every possible solution. I don't know why your cousin is furious with you. You are not the a-hole. Just for your information, your car and its interior are not designed to have 600 plus lbs in one seat. IDC what car you have. Unless you have a pickup, and she rides in the back, your car is not made for that kind of heavy-duty work. For example, a Dodge Charger can only carry 865 pounds total if the weight is equally distributed. Yes, I know it can probably handle more, but tell your family it simply isn't safe. Maybe this can be her wake-up call. She's too big to attend a wedding. Next story. Am I the a-hole for selling my late wife's cake recipe to a bakery? My late wife passed 3 years ago, our 2 kids were in their late 20s at the time. It's been a hard few years, and it is even harder now that I live alone. She had a lovely dark chocolate cherry cake. It was my favorite thing that she would make, and I always requested it for Father's Day. I am a crap baker and I have tried to remake it from her notes. The notes are not very clear and it never turns out correct. It is depressing spending so much time and it being wrong. I have asked my 2 kids to try and make it, but they have refused to. I was told that they will not figure out the recipe and to stop asking. I went to a local bakery and asked for them to figure it out. They agree as long as I gave them the permission to sell the cake in the store. It didn't take them long to figure it out, and it is almost exactly the same to my wife's. I bought one for Father's Day and my kids were happy about the cake until I told them the bakery did it. They are pissed I would sell their mother's recipe to a bakery. This whole week they have been telling me how I am a jerk for this, and I am wondering if I really am a jerk. I just wanted to eat her cake again. Top comments. I'd think of this as a way for your wife to live on in what she created to bring happiness to others. It's not like you did it for the money. Would the bakery consider using your wife's name as part of the item name? Not the a-hole. OP replies. I highly doubt it, and I will not ask them. They have already done so much for and gave me the recipe with clear instructions. I am not going to bother them about their cake name. I am just happy I can eat it again. Not the a-hole. It's funny. My mom died without leaving a complete recipe for one of my favorite dishes. The basic recipe was there, but she must have had a pinch of this, dash of that in her head, because the recipe never tastes like what my mom made. I totally get wanting to have that taste again. When your kids didn't want to try, you took matters into your own hands. Nothing wrong with that. And frankly, if your kids weren't ever going to make the cake, I'm not sure what their beef is about the bakery making it. Opie replies. That's close to how the recipe was. Some things would have measurements and others wouldn't be specific. It also was basically just ingredients and not many instructions. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to ask my partner if he'll drive my friend to work when I go on maternity leave? I am currently 7 months pregnant and I give my friend a ride to work. I've been doing this the last year because they lived 3 minutes away from me when I was in my old apartment, and I continued to do the favor when I moved in with my partner. I'm going on maternity leave next month and my friend has no idea how she is getting to and from work. She's been trying to figure it out since I found out I was pregnant, but she cannot drive. There are no driving schools nearby, the closest one is 2 hours away, and they have no family to help them. I said I wish I could help more, but giving her rides while I'm on maternity leave but driving with a newborn at 6 a.m. just isn't happening. Today she suggested I ask my partner, my baby's father, if he would drive her, and I said no, I'm not asking. We have to be at work at 6:30 and my partner had to be at work at 7:30, and we live 10 to 15 minutes from my friend and our job is 20 minutes away from his job, and I'm not making my partner wake up earlier than he normally does to get ready for work and drive my friend to work because she can't find a ride. She made a joke saying that he should because it's his fault that I have to go out of work because he got me pregnant, and as a friend she would appreciate the favor. I said I wish we could help, but I'm not asking him. She's upset with me because I won't even ask. But I already know my partner will say yes because he has people-pleaser tendencies, so I'm making the decision for him. Then she brought up how she wouldn't have taken the job that I helped her get if she knew we wouldn't be able to carpool anymore. She figured it out when I couldn't give her rides due to illness or appointments, but now I feel like she's trying to guilt me and keeps insisting I just ask and won't drop it. Am I the a-hole? Top comments. It's so nice to read about someone who protects their partner from being taken advantage of. Absolutely not the a-hole. Opie replies. Yes. He does the same for me, and it's part of the reason our relationship works so well and we don't get overstimulated in our relationship. You both seem like people pleasers and your friend is so used to taking advantage of you, that she has the audacity to expect you to inconvenience your partner so that she can get a ride to the job she has because of you. You might be TA for asking if you're the a-hole for not putting yourself and your partner first. Opie replies. We are both people pleasers, and so we really look out for each other to not be taken advantage of. Sometimes when guilt tripping is involved, it's hard for me to see that I'm not wrong because my emotions get the best of me. Not the a-hole. As parents of a newborn, you will have a lot on both your plates. Neither one of you should be adding to that. Even if you are doing the lion's share of the parenting while he works, having a newborn is just overwhelming and a big adjustment, and he'll also need to be supporting you in your recovery. He's going to be exhausted and overwhelmed too. He shouldn't feel pressure to take this on as well. She's an adult. It's time for her to take responsibility for her own transportation. This didn't come out of nowhere. She's had 8 months to prepare for this situation and resolve it. It's unfortunate that she was not able to do so, but you simply will not be able to continue to be her personal Uber with a newborn at home. The answer is no. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel HB Reddit Stories.